morning, everybody. Something a little different today. I've never featured a CV replay on this channel. Mostly because I stopped playing CVs when they did the CV rework. And even though I did try World of Warplanes, I didn't find it that enjoyable. Yesterday, my clanmate Louise, he pings me and he says, "Hey, excuse me, you gotta see this Richthofen game that I just had." Now, the Manfred von Richthofen is the new German Tier 10 CV, named after the World War I Great Baron Manfred von Richthofen, and you could call him famous or infamous. We see Louise take off with his rocket squadron, and he does a pre-drop. Now, one of the questions asked a lot as Louise starts sweeping the map just to spot the enemy, see where they are, and he's up against another Manfred von Richthofen. As people ask, but listen, why do CVs pre-drop? Now, pre-drop is where a CV player attacks open water as soon after launching as possible, forcing some of his squadron's planes to return to the carrier. This jump-starts the preparation of the next squadron of that type and helps preserve some of the aircraft type for use later in the game. Yeah, you get less attacks in the beginning of a battle, but that's a good thing because it forces you not to take chances when the enemy ships are at their full strength and have the greatest chance of shooting down your entire squadron. And as we see, Louise returned his bomb squadron almost immediately, and he's taking his rocket planes again. And the bomber squadron is ready to take off. So you'll see Louise pre-drop a lot, especially towards the beginning of the match. And if I get a few things wrong with the voiceover here, please do excuse me. This is the very first CV replay that I featured. Now, also interesting, for DDs per side, but from what I was, when I was recording the replay in OBS, Louise wasn't really too focused on the DDs. Instead, getting 4 rocket hits on an Edinburgh to open his tally. He's got 7 spotted ribbons already. Edinburgh, soft as paper. I stopped that line. I think I actually featured the video about a year ago where I just got blapped and I was just, no. Neptune and Minotaur cannot be worth this punishment. I'd rather regrind lines and get other ships. So the enemy has already got a cap point as Louise pre-drops bombs. No. Ooh. The enemy grows the curve first, takes care of Charles Martel. So the enemy is already building up a 100-point lead here. Now, one of the things to remember with the German CVs is they get AP bombs. So we will see quite a few citadels through the course of the game. Friendly Mogador takes care of the enemy gearing, and at least it's 1-1 with 1 less destroyer. But the points are still stacking up for the red team as they've got a cap point and Louise's team does not. Oof, look at all that skill in the water on the right side of the screen. Louise takes out his rocket squadron again. Gets spotted. And he sees the enemy Kitakaze, but he isn't going to bother too much with the Kitakaze. He's got other ships to fry. Spots both the Iowa and the Mogami together, and his strike on the Mogami goes somewhere. And Louise's team is struggling to get cap points. The enemy are contesting it. Looks like the Ostergutland might be able to take one of the caps on the 8 line, and Louis's clanmates is pushing up in the 3 line. I think that was He-Man and the Kremlin. They desperately were trying to take a cap. Now the enemy Montana takes care of the friendly Pomeran, which puts them back again, but the Ostergutland, as predicted, manages to capture C, so now the cap points will stick. Louise does an AP bomb run on Iowa. 2 penetrations, no citadels. Oof. Unlucky there, unlucky there. And it looks like the pressure on A has finally paid off. The enemy team has retreated just enough to allow Louise's team to take A and C cap now. So now they got 6 points ticking versus 3 on the enemy team, but they are almost 200 points behind since they've also lost more ships. Now as Louise's boy squadron flies through a hail of flak here, he goes for a run on the Grosse Kurfürst with these torpedo bombers. Is he going to be lucky? Oh, he gets a spotted ribbon. He gets 3 donks and a flooding. Ostergutland takes out the enemy Ostergutland. Enemy Ostergutland takes out the friendly Ostergutland. So that still puts Louise's team about 150 points behind, but they are slowly catching up. Now, the Shimakaze has got a Lonely Montana on the 10 line. Not quite sure what he was doing out there. Sightseeing. And as the Shimakaze sends out 1 set of skill, Louise has decided AP bombs need to be dropped on the Montana. Louise's team's Mogador decides B cap needs to come. Here's, as we see the bomb run happening. Oof, oof, oof. 3 citadels, 3 penetrations. The friendly Iowa takes out the enemy Grosse Kurfürst, but unfortunately their Kitakaze takes out the friendly Grosse Kurfürst. So Louise's team is still 4 ships to 3, but with B cap being contested by the Mogador, the enemy's points has stopped ticking, while Louise's team's points are ticking. That Mogador takes out the Fletcher that was probably challenging him, and now hopefully should be able to capture B here. Friendly Fletcher, you saw on the right of the screen there for a fleeting second, was on a sliver of health. And Louise gets another spotting ribbon, and finally his team is in the lead. With all 3 caps, he does a rocket attack again on the Edinburgh, 7 over pens, 4 penetrations, 2 hits to Citadel, and his fighters are taking care of an enemy squadron, shooting down 5 enemy planes. And Louise is almost at 72,000 damage here, and with 11 minutes remaining in the game. And again, the enemy DDs didn't die to the CV, so DD players, please don't always blame the CVs for being the douchebags. We haven't seen Louise go after a single destroyer in this match. He's just been focusing on spotting and hitting the enemy ships where it matters the most. So that Mogami is on quite low health there, and as Louise starts going for him, the Kremlin takes him out. He adjusts, and it drops on Musashi, who seems to be stern tanking. Well, I didn't tank that. 2 penetrations and a citadel. That had to hurt. Louise does a quick map check. And he sends his torpedo planes out. Pre-drops the torpedoes, sends a squadron back. Some of the squadron. And he decides, oh, that Edinburgh looks like a likely target. Oh, the Edinburgh is a fairly nimble cruiser, so let's see. He takes only one torpedo hit and he gets an incapacitation. Obviously the steering gears or engine, thus he would have had to use his damage controls. Everything else sets him on fire. It was a good hit. Dementia and He-Man are furiously holding a cap, and obviously the three of them were on Discord. You've heard some of the Discord replays. They are focusing He-Man in his Kremlin there. The enemy Richthofen takes care of the friendly Amagi as Louise lines up. And two citadels, 3 penetrations, but unfortunately the enemy Kitakazi has burnt down He-Man in his Kremlin. He-Man, I told you, you need to get Kuznetsov. He is amazing for the Kremlin. Quick sip of coffee. It is still very early in the morning here, and we see Dementia in his Iowa face-off against Vladivostok, and Edinburgh and Musashi. Mogador takes care of that Montana as He-Man runs. As Louise runs torpedoes into the Vostok. Donk, donk, donk. 3 nice torpedo hits. Because he is focusable, trying to take the cap, it's important to get the resets and focus him. And he has been spotted. Ooh, 3 more hits. 1 defended and a flood on the Vostok. Louis starts moving his carrier out of harm's way because very close by, if he's spotted, there will be a Musashi. And if you have not seen the Euro carrier snipe video, you need to watch it. One citadel, 2 penetrations on the Vostok. And unfortunately the Vostok takes out Dementia's Iowa. Come on, Louise, move that CV of yours. Now, Fletcher here is on a sliver of health, but sends out a wall of skill towards Vostok. And it looks like the Vladivostok's going to sail out of A. He's got the carrier bloodlust. He wants to kill a carrier. Doesn't have the range of the Musashi though. Oof. Last torpedo hit. Louise gets his first kill of the match on the Vladivostok, but already has 143,000 damage. Now Louise's team is actually on the back foot here. They've got 700 points, but they're losing A cap, they're losing B cap. They've only got the CV and 3 DDs left, and that Fletcher, as we see here in the right side of the screen, is basically he's a scrape from the island away from being dead. Enemy takes A cap, but the Fletcher manages to kick torpedo the Edinburgh, and Louise's team is back in the... One overpen, 1 penetration, but he gets 2 defended rivets on B cap. Now, Louise's team has double the points of the enemy team, but that doesn't mean this match is won by a long shot. Not at all. Not at all. We've seen matches turn. Somehow, the Iowa leaves B cap. Okay. Wall of skill went towards him, and he had to actually turn out and leave. So Louise decides, alright. See what we can do here. Steering gears out, 2 torpedo hits on the Iowa. I will have to use damage control if he doesn't want to sail into that island, which puts him right for HE damage. from, say, the Mogador. Because, oh, he gets another torpedo hit on the Iowa. 2 hits in a flood. Now that flood will stick, because the Iowa had to actually use his damage control on the steering gears. Both the Fletcher and the Shimmer has sent out walls of skill towards the Iowa as the enemy Richthofen takes care of the Mogador. And like I said, this match is not being won by a long shot. Iowa manages to dodge all of those walls of skill. But he eats a Citadel hit, and Louise gets 3 more defended ribbons from 2 penetrations. And he is now at a, call it almost 180,000 damage. That's impressive for a CV. There are better CV players. I haven't received the replay. If you'd like to submit the replay, please contact me. Send me the replay. Send me the after action screen. Happy to do a replay on that. Enemy Shimakaze takes care of that Kitakaze that was briefly spotted there. He was also on a sliver of health, as the enemy team is desperately trying to contest B. It's only 2 destroyers and a CV versus 2 battleships and a CV. But Louise's team has got the points advantage here. Fletcher guns down the Iowa, and it's just the Musashi and the Richthofen. What drop was that? 1 penetration, 1 Citadel, and there is Louise's Confederate. 187,900, call it 188,000 damage so far in the CV. Points are running out. They have not been able to take any other cap points. 973. Louise takes his planes around the island as the Musashi is perfectly turning. Gets 3 rocket strikes, 190,900 damage, called it 191,000 damage. Another rocket strike, but they go nowhere as the Fletcher kills it off. And he gets 190,000 damage. Multiple torpedo hits, 4,000 experience, and a phenomenal match. Thank you so much for sending this, Louise, and hope everybody enjoyed this, and I'll speak to you tomorrow. Cheers.